Let's make the natural progression then to the ACAC. Bluffton, Woodlan. These are two teams that love to run the football, especially this year, but do it differently.
Yeah.
Bluffton's got the electric playmaker and Dwayne Eskridge, which if you're in the ACAC, no disrespect to the conference, being a D1 running back, I mean, that's tough to be identified. He definitely is. He's got the speed. And then you've got Mitchell Van Brockelen on the other sideline, the big, bulky guy that can just grind it out. Two very different styles Friday night in Woodburn.
Yeah, for sure. You know, Woodlan, you know, they beat Heritage last week 19-9, and that's a series where you can kind of throw the records out because, you know, I think Heritage is rebuilding, but Woodlan only scoring 19 points was kind of an eye-opener for me, but I think, you know, that's such a rivalry that I think, you know, kind of throw the records out. But Woodlan, I still think that a team's going to have trouble beating them in the conference. Bluffton could be one of them. Adams Central could be one of them. So this could be a game where maybe the ACAC shakes up a little bit if Bluffton can knock them off. But until somebody does, I'm just having a tough time seeing anybody beat Woodlan.
This will be his toughest test, but Eskridge's numbers have been phenomenal.
He's a freak, man.
Yeah, he's averaging 193 yards a game. The thing is, it doesn't matter where you're playing. This is a guy who won the 200 meters as a junior last year at state in track. The speed is always going to be there no matter what. How do you try to bottle him up? How do you try to contain him if you're Sherwood Haydock and the Woodland Warriors?
You just got to wrap up. I think Woodland is one of the few teams in the ACAC that has some athletes that can match up with him. So maybe they can match speed with speed a little bit in that defensive secondary with him, but he's averaging 9.8 yards a carry, and the kid's been a freak. So you're just going to have to limit his touches. It sounds hard, you know, because they can just hand off to him. But you just got to limit his touches, and when you get your arms around him, you got to wrap him up. If he starts breaking tackles, then Woodland's in trouble.
On the flip side, how do you stop Van Brockelen? How do you stop that offense? Because they've gotten Van Brockelen's the focal point, but they've gotten nice performances at the quarterback position, receiver, other running backs. I mean, they've got a complete offense. They just don't necessarily ask them to do a tremendous amount every Friday night because they know they've got Van Brockelen as the workhorse.
Yeah, your best bet with Woodland is still stop that run. They have a better passing game than they did last year. But if you force them into passing 20 times a game, then that's going to help you having your chances to win. So still the main focal point is bottling up Van Brockelen and their running game. They've had a balanced running attack, really. They got another guys back there. So still focus on that running game, slow it down, stop it, make them beat you through the pass. If they end up beating you through the pass, then, you know, what can you do? I mean, you locked down their strength and made them beat you other ways. So that's the key, I think, for Bluffton.
Yeah, then they're just a quality football team.
Then you just got to give them props, you know.
All right, we're on week 4. After this week, we're going to be almost halfway through the regular season. What have you really learned so far, and what are you most looking forward to about week 4? Because there are some teams, I think you mentioned it, we're not exactly sure where they are right now, and we're already 3 games deep into the season.
Yeah, you know, you look at Snyder, and to me, I'm looking at Snyder as the team in the SAC, but we saw it with Homestead last week. If you make a game where you make a bunch of mistakes, there's plenty of teams in the SAC that can beat you. So you have a Snyder team that has, you know, 6 more games in the regular season, still has to play the likes of Northside and Lures and DeWanger and Carroll and all those teams they got to play.
Yeah.
Homestead. So they are loaded. And all 5 of those teams, if you have a game like Homestead did last week where you just, you know, throw the game away in the first half, then you're going to pay for it. And those teams can beat you. So Snyder, to me, if they play to their potential, I don't think anybody can beat them. But this is high school football. These are teenagers. I mean, it happens at all levels of football.
Right.
If you just have a down game, then you're going to get knocked off. So I think Snyder is that one team in the SAC, but there are plenty of teams that can beat them if not they're not playing up to their potential.
Should be interesting on Friday night. We appreciate you coming in on Labor Day.
Anytime.
He gets paid time and a half for that, which I'm not smart enough to do all the math on that.
As long as my driver is still working on Mondays and I can get around town, that's cool. So he's out in the parking lot waiting.
Well, I thought you had a pilot that brought you in via helicopter. Anyway, for Justin, I'm Glenn. We'll see you next week talking high school football here on Inside the Zone.